From all of us Catholics, greetings. Your return to our channel is greatly appreciated. I pray that you have an amazing day in Christ. We sincerely hope you enjoy this film and follow us on YouTube so you don't miss any updates. As you watch this movie through to the end, join in on the journey. In these challenging times, millions of people are searching for guidance and answers. The message coming from Medjugorje, a very spiritual place, has struck a chord with many people. It is both a warning and an urgent demand for physical and spiritual readiness. Instead than inspiring fear, the message that the Virgin Mary is conveying is to arouse a profound sense of awareness about the revolutionary times that humanity is entering. It highlights the value of prayer, reflection, and being ready for a historic event that will change the course of human history. A historic event is imminent, according to the Virgin Mary. This disaster will bring about both internal and external changes that will affect people's lives and the world in ways that are currently unfathomable. This change is already evident in the occurrence of natural disasters like earthquakes, surface alterations, and the extinction of entire communities. Despite their apparent disconnection, these instances are connected and point to a larger shift that is taking place. Even though many people may choose to ignore these signs, it is clear to those who are paying close attention that a major change is about to occur in the world. People are also impacted internally by this change, which forces them to confront their spiritual state. It is not limited to external occurrences such as environmental disasters or social upheavals. In the traditional sense, there is nothing to be afraid of during this period of transition. Instead, it should serve as a wake-up call to make people more conscious of the times they live in. Mary emphasizes how we are crossing a thin line that divides the known from the unknown, and how this barrier is becoming increasingly blurry. Things that formerly seemed stable and secure are starting to change, and our lives are starting to take on new and bizarre realities. But this is not a message of despair. It's an alert to prepare. Those who possess the spiritual insight to grasp these times will know that we are living in a critical period of history that demands awareness, comprehension, and a readiness to act. The need of supernatural protection, which is closely tied to prayer, is emphasized in the message of the Virgin Mary. Like a loving mother, the Virgin Mary watches over all of God's children, supporting and protecting them during these difficult times. Her beliefs include that prayer is the most powerful connection we have with God and a defense against the demonic forces that seek to conquer the world. The takeaway is that prayer is not merely a devotional activity. It is a powerful, transformational force that has the power to alter the course of events. By praying, we can remain united as a global society, bound by our shared faith and protected from the challenges that lie ahead. Darkness is approaching, so now, more than ever, we need this spiritual companionship. However, the message goes beyond simply urging us to pray. It highlights that simply memorizing prayers is not enough. True prayer must be accompanied by sincere actions that follow the laws of God. Every movement, every thought, every action must be guided by something greater than ourselves. During these difficult times, disobeying God's commands will have disastrous consequences. The Virgin Mary urges us to live according to God's will, suggesting that hollow words and dishonest actions won't help us endure the difficulties that lie ahead. To be prepared, we must live truly and sincerely, incorporating spiritual principles into every aspect of our life. One of Medjugorje's main points is the prophecy about the 3 days of darkness. As numerous historical revelations have long foreseen, this event is expected to mark the moment when the world will be enveloped in a dense and profound physical and spiritual darkness. The Virgin Mary predicts that over these 3 days, all of the lights of the modern world, electricity, technology, and human knowledge, will go out. leaving everything completely alone and silent. Rather than being a metaphor, this darkness is a real, tangible experience that will affect everyone. It will be a great test of faith and spiritual strength, but there won't be a rational explanation for what is happening right now. Those who have already developed a strong foundation of faith will suffer, while those who have not will struggle to stay the course. These 3 days of darkness will also serve as a time for spiritual purification. The Virgin Mary claims that this is the moment when we will be forced to confront our innermost truths and be set free from all outside distractions. During this time, one's own relationship with God and the light of faith, rather than delusions or masks to conceal oneself behind, will be the only sources of direction and comfort. The Virgin Mary's message emphasizes how important it is to prepare for this moment. We must strengthen our spiritual lives via sincere prayer and devotion if we want to have a connection with God that will see us through the difficulties that lie ahead. Only those who have acquired this type of spiritual force are capable of overcoming the cleansing challenges presented by the approaching darkness. The Virgin Mary's message is centered on spiritual preparedness, but she also provides practical guidance on ensuring physical survival throughout the upcoming difficult times. In order to survive during the period when modern conveniences would not be available, one must prepare by accumulating essentials like food, candles, and matches. The message is not intended to cause panic, but rather to offer advice for smart readiness. One will feel more secure if they have the necessities for survival in case modern infrastructure and technology fail. The Virgin urges us to take action now, while the opportunity is still available. Her request for preparedness is delivered with a high sense of urgency, as if this were an imminent rather than distant event. The way the environment and society are evolving suggests that the moment is drawing near. This message exhorts people to pay attention to these signs and to begin immediately preparing themselves both physically and spiritually. Another significant topic in the Virgin Mary's message is the need for global fraternity. The Virgin reminds us that because of our common belief in God, we are all members of the same global family, despite the increasing divide brought about by injustice, conflict, and a lack of solidarity in the world. This sense of unity cannot just be an ideal, it must be exhibited in our daily interactions. The network of prayer and relationships that our shared faith and dedication to spiritual ideals give is our best defense against the forces of evil. However, this union won't happen by itself. People must consciously try to set aside their differences and accept one another as fellow believers, regardless of their financial, ethnic, or religious backgrounds. This international fraternity is the cornerstone of our capacity to build a more resilient and caring world in the face of impending challenges. The core of the Virgin Mary's teaching is the exhortation to live a life guided by love. This love is not just a passive feeling. It is an active, transformative force that will guide us through the upcoming changes. The lesson is that love is not a fleeting or superficial feeling. It is a deep commitment to both human welfare and God's will. It is facilitated by every small action we take in our daily lives, every choice we make, and every sacrifice we make for the good of others. Humanity will be sustained by this love as we prepare for the difficulties that lie ahead. It will provide us with the courage to face the unknown with faith and the perseverance to keep moving forward. In the end, love for God and for each other will get us through the challenges of this crucial period, as the Virgin Mary reminds us. Even if the message is grim and portends difficult times ahead, the Virgin Mary assures us that we are not alone. She is here with us, protecting and supporting all of God's children and keeping watch over them. Her love and support provide comfort and strength, even in the most trying situations. Throughout the entire discourse, the Virgin Mary emphasizes the necessity of spiritual rejuvenation. This is more than just learning prayers by heart or following customs. It requires an authentic, deep relationship with God, one that needs to be maintained with ongoing commitment, prayer, and reflection. The Virgin encourages us to go through a genuine personal conversion, which is an ongoing process of aligning our will with God's. To focus on what truly matters, our relationship with God and the service we offer to others, we must set aside conceit, self-interest, and worldly distractions. In conclusion, Medjugorje's message is a powerful call to prepare both physically and spiritually for the difficult times that lie ahead. The Virgin Mary foretells an event that will transform the world, and there are already warning signs of it. She urges us to carefully consider this message, to deepen our faith, and to begin preparing immediately. The 3 days of darkness prophecy is a crucial reminder of the spiritual and physical challenges that lie ahead in this lesson. However, if we have faith, pray, and make proactive plans, we can overcome these challenges. The Virgin Mary assures us that she is always at our side, calls for world peace, and exhorts us to live as one family connected by love. Now is the ideal moment to prepare because there is a lot of urgency at the moment. When we rely on God's protection and the Virgin Mary's intercession, we can face the challenges ahead with faith, courage, and love. Thank you for taking part in this journey. Your presence and involvement lend importance and impact to our inquiry. Until then, may you find hope and inspiration in the common stories of our human experience.